Among the many Korean dramas that have been released in recent years, it must be getting harder to stand out. And so when you take a look at the Netflix top 10, for example, of non-English dramas, and you see a Korean show there, it's probably worth taking notice. Over the last few weeks, you've probably seen Narco-Saints there, known here in Korea as Suriname, after the country where it's supposed to be based. And one of the foreign actors who featured in that, not in just one role, but actually in 3 different roles, is Ademir Sedios, and he's sitting next to me now. Thank you very much for coming in.
It's a pleasure, thanks for having me.
So as I said, 3 different roles in one TV show, even, or perhaps especially the top Hollywood actors would not have had many experiences like that because they'd be so recognizable. Can you tell us a bit more about those roles you played?
Yeah, so I was first brought in to play a Brazilian border patrol. That was shot over 4 days. And my second role was a passenger. I was just a passenger coming off a plane. Except you don't really see me in the series. It's so blurry, so fast.
What, when you're in the passenger position?
Yeah, I just fly by through the camera in the background. And my final role was a Colombian gangster.
And the most prominent of the 3, where people would probably recognize you, would be the Brazilian patrol?
I would say more the Colombian gangster. Okay. I appear in 2 different scenes and I have a good amount of screen time. So you can definitely notice that I'm in there. When I saw the complete series, all the twists and turns, and it's hard to believe, but it's very impressive how all the details and everything that went over the whole fact of the story.
The whole idea of Suriname as a show, the Korean name, makes it very clear which part of the world we're talking about. And it's not a million miles away from your original homeland of El Salvador, at least as far as your ancestry is concerned. And perhaps it's something that's engaged a wider conversation in Latin America, I'm not sure. Are there concerns about the way, for example, a narco-state is being viewed? Suriname's government has not been happy about that?
Yeah, I think a lot of Latin America, there's a lot of poverty, crime, and so you see a lot of this stuff. So it's not anything new, but there is a negative view because some people, it's the first experience. This is Suriname, and this is all they know. So they make an opinion based on this series, and oftentimes it's a negative one. And of course you get the leaders, I believe the president was very upset, understandably so. But again, it is a true story. Yeah, I can understand, but at the same time, I think it's good that people are becoming aware of this country, Suriname. Many people didn't know about it before. So in a way, it can be negative, but at the same time, I think it could be positive as well. They planted a bunch of palm trees to make it look more tropical. And the weather, it was filmed during the summer. It was very hot, very humid. So it almost did feel like it was South America.
What were your interactions like with the Korean actors and the director and the direction and production teams?
We knew they were like A-star level actors, so we were told to just not bother them, but they came up to us, they greeted us, said hi, and just good morning, good afternoon, things like that. They were very kind, yeah, very humble.
Yeah, we've seen this kind of issue come up with foreign actors before. With Squid Game, for example, it wasn't necessarily the actor's fault, but there was the problem of making sure the dialogue was right and smooth for them. And you kind of sympathize with both sides. You've got to find the right people for supporting roles. They're not necessarily going to be the starring actors, but anything that's off is going to hurt the drama. But then you've also got this foreign community in Korea that's developing, with you now becoming a part of it, and it's a pool of talent that's growing. What do you think of the state of kind of foreign acting in Korea today?
I think there's definitely a lot of issues still. A lot of actors feel that sometimes agencies don't treat us well, or they try to cheat us in many ways. But it's good that we have this community of actors, models who support each other, who encourage each other or give advice. It's definitely very helpful. Got a long way to go, but we do have that community of actors, foreign actors in Korea.
And what are your personal goals, just to finish with?
It's hard to say, but I do want to enjoy my personal life. I want to do the things that just bring joy. And at the moment, acting is one of those things. So for now, I want to just try to continue finding roles, acting, modeling. If I land bigger roles, then that's great. I'll be very thankful. If I don't, that's fine too.
Well, we'll look out for your name, Ademir Cedillos. Thank you so much.
Thank you, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Really great having you here in the studio. And maybe that's something you'd like to add to your bucket list. If you don't fancy becoming an actor full-time, maybe you could still come to Korea and wind up in a K-drama, because as we've heard, it is actually pretty possible.